The Sarah B. Show, coming through your stereo. Say it loud, let's sing it proud, like a homegrown rodeo. The Sarah B. Show, coming through your stereo. LT2 is where you go to hear the Sarah B. Show.
What's up, loves? Welcome to another episode of the Sarah B. Show. We are here recording with you, and by we, I do mean me. Hopefully this sounds okay. I tried to do some sound testing beforehand. We've got some new equipment in the studios, and it's sounding strange to me. I'm sounding very robot-y, like I have a lot of reverb. Also, I was doing this during, before I was starting. When I tap the microphone, there's this like weird static noise, and it sounds like a club, like a DJ, and I don't know if you guys can hear it or if it's still happening. It is. So like, I don't know if you guys can hear what I'm hearing. But when I was like, before I started recording, I was like, this sounds like a club mix. Like, ready? Here we go. Anyway, I really hope you guys could hear that, because either way, it's going to look really dorky, but less so if you were actually able to hear that. So cool. This is really bothering me. I don't usually care that much about audio, although I should. I've been asked before specifically about the guy that I'm going to be talking about in this podcast. Are you not an audiophile? I thought working in radio you would be. No, I just show up. I'm the talent. They check my levels for me, and then I show up and I talk into the microphone, or I rave. Anyway, but here we are. Nonetheless, welcome to another episode of the Sarah B. Show. I'm gonna just say it right out of the box here, you guys. This might be my last one for a little while. And, you know, not that long, a little while, as in like maybe like a month. Maybe. I'm gonna try really hard to not make it that long. But basically, I don't even know how to start this episode. I've been getting called out a lot, and in a funny way that I really enjoy, and I will share this with you soon. But basically, I've been getting called out a lot for teasing stuff and never getting to it. And basically, here's another tease for you. I am fixing to embark upon an incredible journey, an adventure of a lifetime, if you will. And I can't talk about it yet. Well, I could technically, but I'm not going to. It's something that's very big and very near and dear to my heart, something that I've been contemplating doing for a very long time. And now the universe has provided me with an opportunity to actually be able to do so. So I'm very, very excited about that. So yeah, I just don't want to jinx anything. I don't want any temptation or any weird things in the way for what I'm doing. Like, I just want to clear my path and be able to concentrate completely on succeeding, because there's a great chance that I won't succeed at this and it won't happen. It's basically been a long journey coming. And how did I like say this the other day? It's like, okay, for example, El Capitan, right? Or like a big hike that you can think of. It's like you hike all morning, all day long to get to the base of the mountain, and then you go up and you get to the summit, and that's where the win is at, right? That's the main goal. So I feel like I've been doing this like long ass hike all morning, all day, all night, and now I'm at the base of the mountain. And what I'm fixing to go through is gonna be, it's gonna be the summit. And so I don't wanna share it yet, but I'm going to. I will. I promise. Once I succeed, because I will, not if, but will. When I do succeed, it's gonna happen. I will share this with you guys, and I'm so excited about this. And I'll try not to talk about it too much more, because I know it sucks having to hear about something that I can't talk about, but I'm really excited about it. And it's basically like, the cool thing is, to do this, I thought I was going to have to get out of radio, but it turns out I don't think I'm going to have to. There's still a chance it might not work, first of all of it together, but there's a good chance it will, from everything I've heard. And it might be a very long, hard journey, and no days off, and go, and, you know, work my little tush off. But I think it's going to be absolutely worth it. So with that being said, wish me good luck, send all the good vibes. I know you don't know what it's for, but I could use them all, I promise you. And as soon as I'm able to talk about it, I absolutely will. In the meantime, if you guys have any guesses about what I'm talking about or like think you know what I'm getting up to, I would love to hear it. So reach out to me, sarahbshow.com, or, social media, Spotify comments. I will definitely read all of these. Or if you want to leave a voicemail, I could play that as well. Nobody's left me a voicemail. Not recently anyway, but yeah. So anywho, that is what's happening. So basically for this new adventure, I'm not going to be living in my apartment for the next month, which is so sad because I love my apartment a lot. And that's also why I'm probably not going to be able to do a podcast. I'm going to be having to do like a lot of studying. It's like 5 days of studying and then I get the weekend off, but you're supposed to still be studying on the weekends. It's a lot of testing. It's a lot of information. Like I'm going to have to like full on like Hermione Granger, Roy Gilmore, this stuff. I was actually telling my best friends the other day, like when I went through my bad breakup, I totally believe in manifestation, by the way. And I think it's even more powerful when you have like a lot of love or a lot of passion or a lot of like sadness or anger, right? There's a lot of energy behind your manifestation. So it's like always like, be careful what you think or want or think you want. And, be careful what you wish for, essentially. And when I was going through my bad breakup, like I told you guys, I stopped drinking. I didn't smoke weed. I didn't want to do any like extracurricular activities or substances that made me numb. I wanted to feel it all. I didn't want to have any extra depression that came with it. So I basically turned to hot tea, the gym, and Gilmore Girls. And when I was watching, I was like, man, like, I don't know why, but like going back to school or studying a lot or like busting my ass like that, like Rory Gilmore sounds so fun. I was like, maybe I should have like tried harder or done more in school. And I was like, I just wish there was something I could do to like study more and get this life. Like it just seems so fun. Like I'm craving that. I don't know why. Well, you know what? A couple of years later, here we are. I'm getting it. And now I'm nervous as hell, knowing that there's a very good chance I could fail at what I'm doing. One of the like biggest dreams I have, one of the things I've thought forever that I'd be really good at and would be amazing. There's a good chance I could fail. So, I haven't had to use my brain like this in a long time. I've had to already study a lot, memorize a lot before I even start training. So again, I feel like I kind of manifested this in a way, like, don't complain about it. This is what you wanted, and now you're getting it. The universe is handing it to you. But, it's all that delay. So a couple of years later, here you go, girl. Here you go, girly. And yeah, so with that being said, I move out of my apartment tomorrow and basically into a hotel. And I will be there for the next 4 weeks. So I will update and tease more when I can. And there you go. And in the meantime, look at these nails. I just got these nails done at the nail salon. If you're watching on video, you can see them. They're just like a French tip almond, but I've never had almond shape. And I've always had like big hands and fat fingers, which like has been really great for sports when I was younger. And also just me personally as an adult woman who's single, know what I'm saying? But either way, I've always hated my fat fingers, but I've always gotten like square nails. And it says if you get like almond shape, it like thins them out more, makes them look more feminine. And I'm like, it kind of really does. And I really like them. I think I'm an almond girly now. And I never thought I was. How cute. But also when I was at the nail salon, a guy came in and they're like, oh, so-and-so, your chair's over here. And he's like, hey, can you turn on the UT game for me? And I was like, excuse me. Am I in a nail salon or a sports bar right now? I've never heard of a guy coming into a nail salon and asking for a college football game to be turned on. And like, I didn't know whether to be like betrayed feeling or be like, I'm sorry, sir, you cannot come into our domain and request your sporting events on the TV and take over our pedicure stations. But the other part of me was like, this is kind of a turn on. Like a guy that goes in to get a pedicure and like ask for the football game to be turned on. Like, what a guy that's like in touch with his femininity and like, that's kind of hot. So I don't know. I have mixed emotions about it, but that happened today. That was a first. Let's say. Anywho, this has nothing to do with what this episode is about. None of it. But I did have a glass of champagne when I was getting my nails done to get things loosey-goosey. And I'm having a Dutch Bros right now, my go-to order. One day I will be sponsored by Dutch Bros. I think it's the greatest coffee chain around. My go-to, just so you guys know, is this is a small one. I usually get medium when I need it like bad. But I got a small iced Kokomo, sugar-free, with almond milk. And it's so good, so low calorie, and so packed full of all that caffeine goodness. And Dutch Brothers is like so cool. Like everyone's so nice there. They're always so positive and high energy. And it's a vibe. I love Dutch Bros. Soon to be sponsored one day. Manifest 2 years from now. It's going to happen. Okay, guys. So basically what today's episode is really about is a tale of love lost. Or like something fake that just failed again because that's life, right? I don't know. But basically, I'm going to read this message because I have been called out. And at first, I was like, okay. And it also made me laugh a lot. And I was like, I love that somebody is this invested in me and holds me accountable for my bullshit, to be honest. I'm going to give a shout out to Isadora. And it may be Isadora. I have a friend named Isidoro from Italy. You guys should meet. How cute would that be? Isidora and Isidoro. Isidoro, yeah, that's the names. Okay, so she called me out on my BS and said, quit teasing us already. We have been waiting over a month to hear about Rocket Man. Touche, my friend. And I know there are more juicy deets from Italy that you're holding out on. I shouldn't be this invested, but I am. So post something in all capitals, please and thank you. So at first I was like, a little bit like, okay, like I've been busy and I've been holding back for a reason, but you're right. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And I apologize to everyone that feels like this. That message made me laugh a lot. So thank you. So first of all, to answer one of your questions, yes, there are many, 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 many juicy deets from Italy that I have held back on. And the reason for that is because of the new gig that I am fixing to start training for tomorrow. There's a lot of differences between that and my current job. And so I'm trying to learn the ins and outs of social media, what I'm allowed to talk about and say and not talk about. I think it should still be fine, but I want to get this training done first and get in the door here before I could possibly get in trouble or something. Do you know what I mean? If they find the juicy deets thing. So I will say, like, let me get this done. That's why I've been holding back on the last few podcasts have been a lot more G-rated. Obviously, you guys have noticed. But I promise you, especially for you, Isadora, I will do like X-rated Italy trip. It will have all the juicy details you want, and I promise you there are a lot. Of course there are. But it'll be after my training for this new thing is done. Okay? Okay, so there's that. Second of all, we're going to go into all the details now about Rocket Man. But you know what? We're demoting him because he's a 33-year-old man. But he doesn't act like a man. He acts like a freaking boy. So we're going to change his name to Rocket Boy because that's what he deserves. We call things like we see things. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get right into it, I guess. Okay, as you guys know, I met a guy in July. He was cute as pumpkin pie. I could make this rhyme forever. Anyway, no, he was very cute. I don't know. July was like an amazing month. July was the best month of this year by far. It's like life was going good. I finally healed. Everything was on track. Things were so awesome. Everything was working out the way it was supposed to be. And then I met a boy. I met a boy when I was so content with my life and myself and taking care of me and being alone and having the community that I built and my friends with my run club, with my dancing, you know, just everything was perfect. Everything is perfect. And then it's like, what happens then, right? Is it the universe that just gets bored and they're like, let's throw a wrench in this shit to like see what happens? Let's just throw some shit at the wall because we're bored. Let's see what kind of hoops we can make them jump through. I don't know. So basically, I'll go quickly over how we met again. I know you guys listened and heard, but it was 4th of July or 3rd of July. We had Kaboom Town, which was like a big fireworks show here in the little community that I live in. I was out with my friends. I was dressed in my Maverick Top Gun costume like I do every 4th of July because I'm main character energy, so extra, and having a great time. So that was what was going on. We had been drinking a while, partying all day. The fireworks had happened already. And then we went back to our little hole-in-the-wall pub where everyone knows your name. It's like the Cheers of my community, but like really dirty and disgusting. And you might catch something like just sitting on a bar stool there. So we love it. So basically we were out on the dance floor. I was out there with my friend from that I go to a bunch of like dance socials with, my salsa bachata friend. And we were out there dancing, salsa bachata, merengue, cumbia, all that good stuff. And then 2 other girls came up and they're like, we want to dance too. And so there's one guy that knows how to dance. And then they started taking him away. And I was like, oh, that sucks. And in the meantime, there was a group of rocket scientists. Sounds so fake, I know, but it's not. That were like, hey, come back to my apartment. I live right over here. Like, we can have drinks. And like a girlfriend of mine in the run club was like, oh, we should go with them. And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, look at these nerds. Like, I was not attracted. I was not in any way interested. I was like, I have no desire in any of these. I was single. I wanted to dance. And all I can think about is cute guys. Like, honestly, that's been my life since kindergarten. I used to sneak away or sneak under the bleachers and kiss a boy. Like, nothing's changed from kindergarten to 37. I still have the same goals like every night. Like this is the end game. Like to kiss a cute boy under the bleachers. And this is not gonna be it, not the Rocket Boys. Mm. But after my friends started dancing with these other girls, there was no good material in the bar, you know what I'm saying? And it was kind of boring. The music kind of sucked. Like it was just like meh. And she really wanted to go, and I was like, fine, let's go. And I don't know why I was the decision maker here. Like, but I was like, well, I started dance. That was it. I started dancing with this tall guy that was like, come back to our place. It was his apartment. And he's like really tall, 6'4", super nerdy, goofy, trying to dance with me. Had no rhythm. It was adorable though. Like he was trying at least. And so we started like grinding and like he tried to like salsa dance with me and it was not working. So I was like, we could just dirty dance. Like everybody kind of knows how to do that. So it was cute. So we danced and I was finally like, yeah, let's go. So we took a big group, went back to the rocket scientist's apartment. And I was being kind of like a little bitch the whole time because like I wasn't attracted to this guy. He was not my type. I had no desire to go back here. I was just being nice and a good friend and I was bored. And so I was just being very much myself and very catty. You know, I kept telling the guy, like, you're not my type. I would never go for someone like you. I only date Latinos, like, you know, just all this stuff. And he was just like really into like trying to change my mind. And we got there and he had like pictures of rocket stuff on the wall. And I was like, you didn't take these photos. You just got them off Google and printed them, you know, things like that. I even like, what a little bitch I was. I even went to his closet and I was like, oh, you have an Alpine Stars jacket. Like, I have Dainese, that's like so much better. Like, things like that. And it was funny. Long story short, we ended up like staying there a long time. He had like an old motorcycle that he had rebuilt in his living room. I sat on, we took pictures. We were in his closet and, you know, he was leaning over me and his little corgi was there with us named Olivia, adorable. You have this big, like smart rocket scientist with this cute little dog with like the cutest name. And he was just sitting there, like literally our conversation went like, I was like, you're not my type. And he's like, but I'm really tall. And I was like, you're not my type. He's like, but I have a lot of money and I'm really smart. And I was like, I would never go for a guy for you. And he's like, I'm going to freaking make you fall in love with me. Like that was a conversation. We were drunk and that's exactly how it went. And then he kissed me and then we made out for like a really long time. And there were some weird moments that happened that night. Now that I like look back, while we made out in his closet, we ended up getting back to his bed and he was like on top of me, full on top of me, like hardcore makeout session. And there was this woman that had been there because all his friends were there and she was older and big and had like short frizzy hair. I'm guessing she was like definitely in her 50s, maybe 60s. I'm going to say mid 50s. I'm bad at telling ages. Maybe like mid 50s, but a smoker. I don't know. But anyway, we're making out and she like barges in the door, like busts the door open and just stares at us. And I was like, we stopped making out. We're just looking at her. And I was like, uh-oh, busted. I was like, and he's like, I'll walk you home. And then I was like, is that your mom? And he's like, God, no. And then I was like, well, is that your ex-girlfriend? He's like, no, she's like old. And I was like, okay. So he leaves. He's like, I'll be back. He was gone like a good 20 minutes left, comes back with her. Like, if you're walking this lady home, why would you come back with her? And I asked later who it was. And he said that he was in the dog park, which is where he like lives basically. He says he's always at home or in the dog park with his dog and that he knows everyone in the dog park. And anyway, he came back with her. He said that it was some random person he saw in the dog park and told everyone, come back to my apartment. I'm having a party. So she just ended up coming over. So then why would you have to walk this lady home? Why was she barging in on us, making out in your bedroom and staring at us like angrily? Why did you walk her home, stay gone for so long and come back with her? Like none of that makes sense, right? It's weird. So follow that up with like, you know, he ended up walking me home that night. We made out a lot. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of into him. Like, I'll give it a chance. And I went over all these details. You know, he basically, like, we texted all day the next day. Basically, for like the next week, we hung out like every night. He came to the pool the next day with me and my friends. He went to a brewery with me and my friends. Like, he drove me in his BMW, you know, told me that like usually the front seat was for his dog, but you know, she's the queen. He's like, but I could be the princess, you know, things like that, that like normally every girl would be like, oh my God, what a love bomb. But I was like, maybe, yeah, I was cautious about it, but it was so much of it that I finally was like, maybe I should let myself feel this. Maybe I should let my walls down a little. And like, what if this is something legit? What if he is a really good guy? And like, I kind of like being talked to like this. I kind of like being treated like this. I like my doors being open for me. I like him buckling my seatbelt for me. And not only is it respectful and polite, it's also like kind of freaking hot. It was like very Christian Grey. I don't know, you know, the Charlie Tango scene where he like buckles her up in the helicopter. Whew. Anywho, I digress. So it was like that for like weeks. Like my Jeep wouldn't start. He came and started it for me. Like we cuddled at my apartment on the couch after that, and he called me his little bean. I've known him like a week and a half. Like this is stuff that like I should have been more cautious about. This is stuff that you don't do with somebody you just met 2 weeks ago. But then you have the people that you tell this to, and they're like, but what if it's real? What if it's something legit? And that's why, maybe it's real. Like, I hate everyone that told me that. And I hate myself for listening to you. I don't really hate you. I hate myself more. I don't really hate myself. I really hate guys that do this shit. Anyway, and on my birthday, he came and picked me up at my door. Like it was really sweet. He came and picked me up and took me in his Scout. He has a Scout that he rebuilt and it looks awesome. And he picked me up with a bottle of wine and a bouquet of roses. And he also 3D printed me, like made me a little duck for my Jeep that he hand painted. Like that's some thoughtful shit. That's something you don't do for somebody you don't care about, right? Right? Question mark, question mark, question mark. I don't know. Apparently not. This all just seemed like super legit. And even the conversations we would have, we went out to breakfast and like the chemistry was so fire. It was, you could cut it with a freaking knife. It was so thick. Like, and I know I can't be the only one that felt this. I know I can't. And we're sitting there like, we couldn't even look at the menu. We kept staring at each other and smiling. We were blushing. It was so cute. And like the waitress came by, our waiter, after like 15 minutes. We're like, do you guys know what you want? We're like, we literally didn't even look at the menu. And he's like, honestly, I can't stop staring at you. And I'm being serious and things like that. But then there were comments that he'd make that were like so much. Like he came to my apartment, saw my couch, which I love. And basically he said like, I was like, yeah, I know this couch is too big for my apartment, but it's just so comfy and cozy. And I love it. It's like my favorite thing I own. And he's like, yeah, you can never get rid of this couch. He's like, I'm trying to buy a house currently. He's like, so when I buy a house, you can just move, we can move it in there. And he's like, and then we can move you in. I've known you 2 weeks. Like you shouldn't be saying things like that. And I should have been more cautious. I should have been. So, basically this is how it's all going. We had 2 dates on one day for my actual birthday. We went out to breakfast date. And then that evening we went out to see Jurassic Park, which was fun. Took him to Alamo Draft House, or like that's where I suggested we go, and we had popcorn and we're cuddling and like it was just cute. It was fun. And basically that night he came back to my apartment and we finally, after weeks of hanging out and stuff, and this is like pretty big for me. I waited because I was like, I kind of like this guy, and we finally hooked up. And it was different. It wasn't like the best ever, but it felt meaningful, right? Like it was like slow and like.
Getting ready to step into your career era? Set yourself apart with Adobe Creative Cloud Pro for students. Hone your skills with apps like Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, and more, powered with the latest in creative AI. Students save over 55% so you can build a portfolio you're proud of. Launch your future with Adobe Creative Cloud Pro for students. Visit adobe.com/students to learn more.
I don't know, like, this sounds so stupid, but like more heartfelt, more meaningful. Like, I don't know, like it was just really great. And he put on this playlist on Spotify that was called like Me and You. I even have it saved on my Spotify, so I need to take that shit off. But it was like all the same music that I like too. And like we had all these little dates where like we hung out and like listened to like old screamo and like metal and like hardcore and ska, and like he liked Hindi music. He likes Latino music like I do. Like it just really seemed like we had so much in common. And I'm like, but did we? Or does he do this with everyone? And he's just like one of those master people, And he even made the comment, like after that first night that we hung out, he was like, I've never had this much fun hanging out with a girl before. Like, he's like, this was so much fun. Like, that's a comment that really sticks with you, right? I don't know. So I fell hard and fast. And then it's still like in my head, I just remember the very first night we met when he's like, I'm going to effing make you fall in love with me. And I'm like, was that your goal here? Just to like make me fall in love and then you just be like, peace? So we're getting to that. So basically, we hooked up. It was sweet. It was good. Again, it was different, but it just felt more intimate, more real than anything. Like, I don't know, like I caught feelings. Like maybe I shouldn't have been. I was sitting there like, maybe I should play games. Maybe I should play hard to get. Maybe I should do all this. And I'm like, or maybe you should just like let him know how you feel and like just go with it. And now I feel like I regret it, like doing that. I'm like, I feel like it's a How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I feel like that's everything I did. I feel like I did everything that she did in that movie to make a guy get scared away. But then I'm like, no, like I don't want to play games. Like he's 33 or 34. I'm 37. Like, all right. Check 1, 2, check, check, check. I just stopped recording and started again, and I've never done that before. So let's see if we can actually successfully merge these two projects together. My mom got here. She's coming by. We're doing like a make sure I have everything packed and doing a girl dinner tonight. One of these steakhouses around here is called Del Frisco's, and they have this thing called, it's like a girl dinner, but they call it the It Girl Dinner. So if you like go and you sit at the bar, you can get, it's like this little offering. It's like $25, and they give you like a Caesar salad, truffle parmesan fries, and like cavatappi mac and cheese, and a martini. And you can get like this, like it's a flirty girl martini or a dirty martini or an espresso martini. Anyway, that's what we're going to do tonight. So she came, and it was, of course, right after I was talking about the sex stuff, and I was like, I heard her walk in, and I was like, awkward. Anyway, so I stopped it. But while I have you pause before I catch up again, let's take a break for our sponsor, Go Cleanse. Let's go, baby. GoCleanse.com/Sarah. You can go to gocleanse.com/Sarah, and you can join in the fitness journey that we're all on. They have 11-day cleanses as well as 30-day cleanses if you're wanting to lose weight. And I'm talking like an amazing amount of weight. You should go look at the before and after pictures. Even mine are on my Instagram I posted. They're an amazing company with amazing products, and they make it so easy. Their coaches are great. And even if you're not wanting to lose weight, it just can make you lose all that crap in your system and you feel epic and awesome. I'm going to be taking a lot of their products with me when I go on this journey, just to stay healthy. I'm going to be hotel living for a month. And no grocery shopping. It's all going to be eating out. So I'm going to try to be healthy, but I'm also going to be taking my shakes with me, my little accelerator pills, like all of that to try to keep on track. So you should go check out gocleanse.com if you want to join in with us as well. Just try it. I mean, you don't even have to do like a full cleanse. You can also just order, some of their products there. They also have beauty products as well for like collagen, for hair, skin, and nails. A lot of stuff for like stress relief. Like there's just so much amazing stuff. I'm also taking a box of the collagen with me, which I love. It comes in the little glass bottles. It tastes so good and it makes you feel amazing. And it's just so good for you. So once again, gocleanse.com/Sarah if you want to check out any of their products, and they are awesome. All right, but let's get back to it, shall we? I'll try to get through this quickly. It's hard not to go over every detail. Trust me. I was so upset about this for so long because I just don't understand it. It's a mystery still, but we're getting there. So basically we hooked up. It was great. And then, another week of talking. We didn't talk crazily, like a lot, but we talked every day. He made sure to reach out every day, or I would. And, I don't know. He always told me how insecure he was, but I don't know how insecure he really was. I talked to my therapist about this too, and she called it like oh gosh, what is it? Ooh, I can't remember, but it's just something narcissist where they basically are like constantly fishing for compliments. Like they'll be like, oh man, I'm so insecure. Like I hate this about myself, just so you'll compliment them, which I literally did all the time. Like he's like, oh, I hate myself. And so we would be like in the shower and I'd be like, oh, you're so hot, or like your arms or your tattoos. He's like, I love how into me you are. Like he would literally say that. And then like just weird stuff. Like we'd kiss and he'd be like, oh, the dopamine rush. And I'm like, that's interesting, and then there was one time we were laying on the couch and he's like, I'm just so insecure. He's like, I mean, yeah, I check a lot of boxes. Like, yeah, I'm 6'4". Yeah, I make a lot of money and have a really great job. But like, I also just feel weird about myself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I would like to think it wasn't fake, but whenever my therapist started telling me about this, I was like, oh, snap. Like, that sounds so much like him. Crazy. And then like, when we were together, he was like, say one night that he was going to the gym after he would eat and got like really sick. And he's like, I have to work on myself. Like I'm 20 pounds heavier. And he's like, you can't be the hot one in the only hot one in the relationship. Things like that. Like, I don't know. So, he was telling me like the whole step along the way that like he was having some mental issues. And once again, like I'm not giving his name away. I've never said his name. I've never put his Instagram out there. Like this is all stuff that he told me. It's private, but whatever, right? Like, you knew what you were getting into. So this is what we're talking about. But anyway, he was on antidepressants, he said. And I don't know, he was just acting so weird. And he's like, maybe I got a bad batch of meds, or I don't know. I don't know if any of this is true or if it's just an excuse or whatever. But basically things were good. He ended up coming to my actual birthday party, my dinosaur party, and he was so sweet. He met my mom, my brother-in-law, my brother and my sister-in-law, all my friends, hung well, like sounds dirty. But yeah, I had like a good time, like seemed great, like everything was good. We went home that night. I actually went home with him that night, which is interesting. And I do remember at one point I got the spins, which was awful. And it sucked so bad because it was like it was actually really hot because I remember I was really drunk. And then he's like, it's time for your final birthday present. Lay back. Hot, hot. So I laid back and all of a sudden, like, I got so dizzy and the spin started and I was like, oh no. Like, and can you imagine like a worse time for that to happen when a guy says that to you and then you're like, oh shit. But anyway, I set up and I went away really quick and everything proceeded and it was great. I stayed the night. You know, we'd been dating like a month, I guess, or whatever. And I stayed the night and it was cute. Like everything seemed good. Like in the morning, it was weird because like in my head, I'm like, oh God, do I get up and leave now? Like we live right next door to each other, by the way. And so I was like, do I get up and leave before I say anything to him? Is that awkward? Is that weird? Is that rude? Does that say something specific? Like, what do I do? So I didn't know. So I just stayed. I laid in bed and then like his sweet dog was whining because the stairs had gotten kicked out of the way. She's the little corgi. So we moved the stairs and she climbed up into bed. So he was there. I was like cuddling him and she was like behind me, spooning me. And it was just like, it felt so good. I was like, God, I found a guy who's really nice and like so nerdy and we have the same taste in music, but he's like so hot to me, like because of these reasons. And like, this is so cute and it feels so wholesome. And like, I was just like really happy. I was like, I could see this actually being a thing and working. And it felt really, really good. So fast forward like an hour or two later, we get up and he's like, all right, well, I have a lot of laundry to do and I have to like run errands and go to the grocery store. I'm like, yeah, totally, me too. So I got up and I was like, can I have like a t-shirt or something to change into? Because I had my Explorer dinosaur costume on. So he gave me a Carhartt t-shirt and then he's like, do you want me to walk you home or something? And I was like, no, it's fine. And now mind you, like every time up to this, like he had picked me up at my door. He had walked me home. He had opened every door for me. He was like a perfect gentleman. So I'm sorry, like I super notice these things. I'm such an empath and I notice every little thing. So when you go from that to like, do you want me to walk you home or are you good? After I spend the night, like that was such a big deal. But then his dog had to go to the bathroom. So he walked her out and we walked out and I was like, okay, bye. And I went to like hug him and give him a kiss and he acted so weird. Almost like he didn't want anybody to see us or like, I don't know, like it was so strange. And immediately I felt a shift. I felt it immediately. And that was like the first time we had left and departed without having any plans or being like, I'll see you soon or anything. It felt so different. And I told my girlfriends this and they all said I was overthinking it and worrying. But you know what? I was right. So I'm going to stop listening to everyone else and I'm going to trust my gut and trust my intuition because I read this so right. So anyway, for the next week, it was weird. We barely spoke. Everything changed and I was overthinking things constantly. He finally reached out like midweek and he's like, I'm just mentally really messed up right now. I'm questioning a lot of stuff, like whatever. Fast forward to Friday and I was like, I think I said, do you want to get dinner or something? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And then we ended up saying, let's just get sushi in this little complex area where we live. We can walk there. Cool. He's like, oh, I'll meet you downstairs in like 15. Once again, instead of coming to get me or like coming to like pick me up at my door or anything. It was so weird, right? Also, he had been growing his beard out for me because I thought beards are hot. And so I meet him down there and he's so standoffish and his beard is gone. And I was like, oh, you shaved? And he's like, yeah, sorry. And I'm like, okay. And we go to the restaurant. Everything is so shitty, you guys. Like the vibe is so strange. We're barely talking, not even looking at each other. Like, I don't even know this person. Like, what happened? What happened? So we get there, we're ordering, and then like finally, like you can feel that chemistry coming back. Like same thing, like looking at the menu and like being shy, cute, like whatever. We started talking a little bit, and then I was like, yeah, like I thought you didn't like me, or I don't remember what it was, but he's like, he just said I hadn't reached out as much, so he was questioning if I even liked him, and I was like, well, that's how I've been feeling. We got through dinner, and I was like, well, we can talk about this more if you want to come over after, and he's like, cool. So we get upstairs and he kisses me. And then I was like, oh, thank God. I was like, I literally thought you didn't like me anymore. He's like, oh my God. He's like, I thought you didn't like me anymore. Like, and it was like this weird click. And now I'm like, was that even real on his part? Or was he just like meeting my energy and my vibe? Was any of that real? Or was he just telling me what I wanted to hear? You know what I mean? So, fast forward through the night, we sit down and talk about it. And, we cuddled a bunch. We listened to the music again, like all the metal, screamo, hardcore stuff. And yeah. And then anyway, he's like, just be real with me. Stop trying to be the cool girl. Like, tell me like it is. We don't need to keep playing these games of like thinking we don't like each other. And I'm like, yeah, totally. I absolutely agree. So, anyway, I don't know, man. So that happened. And then he told me he had been in his head a lot because he thought that he wasn't great in bed. He thought his performance wasn't good. So I was like, no, it was great, this and that. And he made some weird comments too. Like, I was like, oh, we need to do this more. And he's like, yeah, we need to make this music hangout like at least once a week. I'm like, definitely. And I was like, well, I'm going to Italy though in like 10 days and I'm going to be gone for a couple of weeks. He's like, oh, right. And he made some weird comments about that too. Like when we were making out, he's like, oh, you're going to be with some like hot Sicilian and he's going to be banging you. And I was like, no. And then he's like, I'm just kidding, but that would be kind of hot though. And I'm like, are you trying to read me? Are these insecure comments? Are you actually genuinely worried about my upcoming trip? Like, what is this? It was so strange. So we ended up hooking up again that night. And now like fast forward and I'm like, did he just want to hit like one more time? Was that all it was? Right? Like, anyway, the sex was definitely different. It wasn't like slow, sweet, sensual. It was like definitely like hard pounding, like more like meaningless, I don't care about you sex. It was great. And then we laid there and talked for a long time after. And then after, like when he was leaving, he's like, well, maybe we can hang in like Sunday or in a couple days. I was like, yeah, that sounds good. Sunday's perfect. Next day I had a photo shoot. He was texting me the whole time. He wanted to see photos, like everything. Oh, this was a big key too. Do you guys remember I told you he got me a dozen roses for my birthday? Well, later he was like, he had made a comment, did you notice how many there were? So I went to count them and there were 11. And he's like, yeah, I held on to one and it's in my apartment. So when it dies or starts to die, I know it's time to get you new ones. And I was like, oh geez, like that got me. And so many people are like, what a player move or whatever. But I've never had a guy say that. Like, so I even told him when he was on my couch, this last time, that I thought in my head, I was like, what if he's a player? What if like he told me that and he just threw the rose away and it was like, F her, she totally fell for it. And I told him that. So during the photo shoot day, we were talking and stuff and he was being so sweet. And then that night I was out with my friends and he sent me a picture of the rose in his apartment. And he goes, see, actually, I want to read this verbatim because honestly, I kind of hope he listens to this and I hope he's listening. But basically, okay, I can't find it. He sent me a picture, here it is, of the rose. And I said, oh, I'm so happy you didn't throw it away, with a heart and a laughing face. And he goes, yeah, I'm not a monster or liar or some player or whatever. I'm just some nerd. Bro, that text right there completely comforted me. And then let's fast forward to like 12 hours later. Who sends a text like that and then does something like this? So we're coming up on the end here. So he sends that text and we're supposed to hang out the next day, Sunday. So basically, like, I text him, I don't know what time, like 11:30 in the morning or something. And I was like, hey, I'm going to shower, start adulting, doing errands. Let me know if you want to hang later, do lunch or whatever time. He's like, cool, I'm also doing chores today, trying to be a human. Something later sounds good to me. I say, cool. So then he doesn't text until like 6:30 in the evening, which he knows, like, and he's been respectful about this. Like Sunday nights, I go to bed early because Monday mornings are my earliest morning. So he texts me like a lot later and he's like, so it's later. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm mentally still in a funk. And I was like, hate that. Anything I can do to help. And he's like, all I can say is a little patience while I work through it. Or we can have a trauma dump session and you can learn all about my PTSD. And, I'm like, I'm so into this. Like, cool. Like, stuff is wrong with you. Cool. I get it. Like, I've been there. I've been on antidepressants. I've had my moments like this. He seems like a good guy. He's treated me great. I'm having a really good time with him. Sure, like I'll help. Like I'm totally here for this. So I was like, basically just said, lucky you, I'm patient and a good listener, totally down for a trauma dump session. And I was like, or have you eaten? I could take you out for ice cream, like just being cute. He's like, I've not eaten yet. And he goes, do you want ice cream? And I said, well, tonight's about me making you feel better. Pick anything you want and I can drive. Like I was just reciprocating all the energy that he had given me the first like 3 weeks that we had been dating. Like he was great. So I was like, why not let me do this for you? Specifically because he told me that his last relationship ended because he's a people pleaser and he always gets with people who he does everything for and they never reciprocate, which is exactly the same for me. So I was like, let me do things for you. Let me do exactly for you what you've done for me. So then he goes, you don't have to make it about me. Okay. And then I was like, okay, well, that's fine. I was like, I'm indecisive too, I guess. Like, whatever. And then here we go. He says, well, I have some frozen gnocchi I'm going to make. I'm pretty hungry now that I think about it. I'll probably do that and then just work on my car. And then he goes, I'm thinking it, so I'll tell you. Sorry, I kind of love bombed you there in the beginning. So I waited for a while. And then I said, okay, so what does this mean? And like already I have knots in my stomach and I'm like, here we go. He goes, I don't know. I just feel like I kind of love bombed you. And now I'm second guessing if I'm like allowed to be in a relationship with someone so great when I can't keep myself happy as it is. And I took that like as sad, and everybody else took that as a, oh God, this is like the new placated, like, it's me, it's not you kind of thing. Or, you know, it's not you, it's me. And then I, instead of wanting to like actually ask questions and like feel some type of way and show my true emotions or whatever, try to play it cool. Because, like, I don't know, man, like, we as women, everybody's like, oh, girls go crazy, or like, oh, I knew they were like that, good thing I got out of it. I hate that shit. So I said, I get it. I'm constantly working on similar issues myself. Take tonight to yourself. We can hang out another night and talk about this in person if you want. And he said, thank you for being understanding. Sorry, with a sad face. And that's the last I heard from him. That was the last I heard from him. I had something really big coming up like the next week, like huge, that has to do with what I'm fixing to leave for, actually. And he knew about it. Never checked on it. Did this all right before this was happening. Yeah, so all of that, like love bombing, sleeping with each other, getting to know each other, like me really starting to kind of like not fall for him. I can't say that, I guess, but like really, really liking this guy. To just that. Thanks for being understanding. Sorry. And then just nothing. So like, you know, in that situation, like, what do? Do you give him his space? Is this him ghosting me? Is this him being like, sorry, bye? Was he fake? Does he really have mental issues? Was he dating someone else? Does he do this for everyone? Like, I don't know. So literally nothing. And you know what I should have done is never reach out to him again, but I'm a freaking idiot. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to concentrate on my Italy trip. So I did. And I thought that like once I went to Italy and did all that and had fun, I would be done and come back and be over this. But no, like my producer, my friend D, told me basically what happened is I went to Italy. I left my baggage on the runway, had an amazing time of my life, came back, grabbed my baggage right when I landed and headed back home. And I just could not let it go. So after weeks of telling everyone I freaking knew about this, talking about it on the air, getting advice from everyone, including my freaking therapist, like I reached out to him after some drinks like an idiot. And I said, hey nerd, back in town, how are you? He texts back immediately. Hey, welcome back. Doing much better. I figured out that I had a garbage batch of meds, had some extra unplanned doctor's appointments, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm back to my chipper self, and asked how my trip was. And then I left it at that. The next day, he actually asked me again, like, how did so-and-so go? And I was like, great. And we talked a little bit. And that was it. And then nothing was ever said. He never apologized. He never asked to hang out again, like nothing. So I'm like, maybe that's it. And there was so much of me that was like, maybe he really wants to, or maybe this. And I'm like, no, he knows exactly where I live. He has my cell phone number. He follows me on Instagram. We're friends on Facebook. Like, he has every way to contact me. And what is it? If he would, they will. Of course he would. He did everything. Like, he's not an idiot. He's a freaking rocket scientist. Like, come on. But it's like so wildly frustrating. The way you do that, like, you know, like I talked to him. We shared so much deep stuff. I told him about how I got my freaking heart ripped out of my chest with my last relationship, how it took me a full year to get over it. And then another year I've been like building myself up, and I'm happier than I've ever been. And I haven't dated since that, or opened my heart up to anyone, or put my walls down for anybody. I've been in a man-hater phase. I told him all of this. So do you really have some mental issues? Is that really what happened? Or are you actually a freaking monster like you said you weren't? I want to know so bad. The part of me so badly that has been wanting to send the screenshot of him sending that photo of the rose and saying, see, I'm not a monster or a liar or a player. Then what is it? What is it? What was it? Like, maybe an apology or just some sort of explanation, because like that like rocked my world, man. Like it really did. It affected me more than I would like to admit. Clearly, but it sucked. Like, it totally sucked. Ew, I'm getting emotional. It's so gross. But, like, I totally opened up to a guy that I wasn't even my freaking type. and let him in. And then for somebody to do this, like, that's what's out there. No wonder women are staying single, and men. No wonder people don't want to date. If this is the stuff that happens, this is what's out there at 33 years old. You're 33, bro. Grow the F up. Anyway. And then the last update I have is I have a lot of friends here in the little circle community that I live in. And I'm not going to say who, but basically in the last week, there has been another thing. A friend met another friend. I'm trying to be like, not give away any people here, but basically a girl that knows of Rocket Boy, and said, oh God, I feel so bad for her about me, saying, I'm glad she got out of there. Let her know it's a good thing she got out of there because he does this to everyone. They said he is known for being a player. He's known for hitting on literally every single girl and woman in the dog park and doing this to everyone. Now, whether that's true, that's like a he said, she said thing. Can I believe that? I don't know for sure. But the crazy thing too is, like, I thought I would feel better getting information like that, like something solid, like to have an explanation of, like, is he just a player? Did I just fall for the BS? But it didn't make me feel better. And not at all. Like, not at all. If anything, it's just made me, I didn't want to go back to my man-hating phase. I really didn't. I was thankful that he got me out of that. But, like, when does it end, right? Like, I mean, what's the point? And, like, you work so hard to build yourself up and create this life for yourself just to let one piece of shit just come in and plow it down. And for what? Was that fun for you? Did you just want to prove to yourself that, like, I seem like a strong, independent woman that said, like, you're not my type, so you wanted to prove, like, hey, maybe I am, and then she'd be like, peace, bitch. Like, what was the point in it? And you know what? If you're listening, like, can you text me and let me know? Oh, and this is the last thing, too. I did see him a couple weeks ago in the dog park. Or not the dog park, in my park, my little circle. Because I used to run by the dog park all the time, and I've been avoiding it because, like, I didn't want to see him, which sucks too. But he was in my little area of running, and I saw him, and I had been thinking about him, and in my head I was like, you know what, I'm gonna say hi when I walk by, be cool, and if the vibes are there, I'm gonna see if maybe he wants to get a drink or something, which is such a stupid move. He doesn't deserve an ounce of my time or energy. He doesn't even deserve a hello, much less that. But I shit you not, I stopped and I was like, hey, and he's like, hey, what's up? Are you crushing it? And I was like, yeah, totally. Like, it was the end of my run. It was good. You know, his little dog was so cute. She came and sat, like, down at my feet. I pet her. She was so sweet. And it was the most awkward conversation ever. He's like, how's work? And, like, he couldn't even look me in the eyes. He acted like not only had we, like, not ever had met before, like, we never had sex before, like, we had not even, like, shared all these intimate moments. Like, he acted like it was the first time he's ever talked to a girl. Like, it was so awkward. There was no feeling, no emotion. It was so it was just such bullshit. So I was like, okay, later. And I was like, I'm not about to ask him out. Like, that was so, it seemed like the most painful moment ever for him to sit there and share those, like, 2 minutes of conversation with me. So screw that. Screw you. Again, I have no idea. I have no idea what it is. Like, if you had a bad batch of meds, or if it was really that, then why didn't you reach out to me after? Why did you give no explanation? Why? Why? That's all I want to know. Why? Like, so again, if you're hearing this, like, I would love to know if you could just reach out and let me know, like, yeah, I am a piece of shit. This is just what I do to girls. Now you know. You know, I would just love to know. So anyway, there's your update, Isadora. It wasn't technically a ghost, but for him to just be like, thanks for understanding, sorry. And I have no idea what happened. After thinking, like, hey, this could be somebody I date for a really long time, or I don't know, like, it seems so great. Oh God, so that was fun digging that up again. But there you go. I did promise it for a long time, and now you have it delivered. Yeah, I'm not gonna say men suck, but men suck. I know women suck too. It's hard out there. It is. At least we have each other. And at least we have podcasts that we can go on and vent about this stuff too, right? I guess. So that's what happened. If you guys want to leave any comments on this, if you have any other questions, if you've had a similar experience, I would love to hear about it. You can go to sarahbshow.com and leave that information there. You can also comment directly if you're listening on Spotify, on the comments. If you just want to say an F you, Rocket Boy, I'm so here for that too. Let's go with that. So thank you guys again. Once again, you can go to gocleanse.com/Sarah if you want to get any of those products there. And in the meantime, follow along I don't know how much I'm going to be posting on social media in the next month. It's going to be a roller coaster. I will say that. But I cannot wait to share all of the information with my new adventure with you guys. And just thank you for continuing along with me every step of the way. Isadora, I loved your message. Like, I love that you guys are that invested. That makes me so happy and shows me that, hey, maybe I'm really doing something here. So I appreciate it. I love you all. And yeah, let's do this thing. I will be back in touch with y'all. Hopefully it won't be a month, but we'll see. Until then, I cannot wait to hear from you guys. Bye. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Sarah B Show.